A brand new Pokemon Go update is here with a new Pokemon, a new shiny, and quite a bit to do in game. Welcome to the Festival of Lights. And as you can see, there are plenty of lit Pokemon? It seems like this event is all about the electric types, because we have Pokemon like Magnemite, Electrike, Voltorb, Mareep, and Morelull spawning in the wild. Morelull is an electrics. Also, we've got like lighty Pokemon like Litwick, Vulpix, and Ponyta because they're like on fire. Honestly, a little bit confused by this whole thing. But there's some new things in this event that we do want to find today. And as always, to attempt to find them and hopefully a daily incense Galarian bird that will end a video I've been working on for about 4 months, we've got the daily incense.
15 minutes later.
Okay, this might have been one of my weakest daily incenses ever. And this might be because this update is one of the weakest in a while. We'll look into it. Well, what I did complete though while I was doing the daily incense was a couple of field research encounters, and if you're like me and always want to try to find the new shiny, these are important. Field research encounters for this event, the Festival of Lights, include catch 5 Pokemon, which gives either 5 Pokeballs, 3 Great Balls, 3 berries, like raspberries or 3 pineapple or 2 pineapple berries. Send a gift with a sticker gives you a Darumaka which could be shiny, and Darumaka is pretty good. Walk 1 kilometer gives you the brand new, potentially shiny Morelull. Yes, shiny Morelull, which could be right behind this encounter. There's Morelull. Shiny Morelull in Pokemon Go looks like this, and it is the brand new featured shiny of the event. Definitely kind of a cool family. It's nothing super useful in Pokemon Go, so although the IVs here aren't that bad. Not a Pokemon worth grinding for unless you really want the shiny, which, hey, you know, I want them all. Spin 10 Pokestops or gyms gives you an encounter with either Morelull or the brand new Pokemon Talbulb, and then hatch 2 eggs gives you Talbulb as well. So the field research quests aren't really all that easy to complete. Obviously, spin 10 Pokestops or gyms in a place like Santa Monica, where as you can see there's plenty of Pokestops, isn't that hard. But in places that are less dense in Pokestops, that's a difficult one to complete, and then walk 1 kilometer, it just takes a long time. So this definitely is a harder event to grind if you're trying to get the brand new shiny, which again is Morelull, which is kind of an underwhelming shiny and not really a useful one. And what about the brand new Pokemon? Talbulb and Bellibolt, are those worth grinding? Oh, actually, I just dropped my my incense, and there's special Pokemon that spawn only on incense and special Pokemon that spawn only in the wild during this event. Let's try to find some spawns of both, and we'll talk about what you could get. Oh, we also have this new Pokemon in the Tier 5 raids, Genesect with Douse Drive, which is like the watery drive Genesect. Well, it can be shiny. Now, Genesect right here. Is this thing any good? Should you take it out, and how do you take it out? Well, historically, Genesect is one of the easiest raid bosses to take out in Pokemon Go. It just literally, like, usually you can use 2 to 4 people. You can even solo some of the Genesect, so not hard at all. And it's a bug in Steel type, and the reason why it's not hard is because you just use your fire types. It's 2 times super effective, super easy. Best Pokemon include Mega Blaziken, Reshiram, Heatran, Darmanitan, Chandelure, and Volcarona. Just again, any of your good fire types. Then when you're battling this thing down, the 100% IV catch CPs are 1916 non-weather boosted and 2395 weather boosted. And when it comes to the meta relevancy of Douse Drive Genesect, is this thing any good? Should you be raiding for it? Well, as a bug type, Genesect typically doesn't have too much play in Pokemon Go. And in PvP in the Masters League, Douse Drive ranks 67th, which is the 3rd best Genesect in Masters League, so it's okay. And then in the Ultra League, it's even worse. It's ranked like 89th, so it's like decent. Definitely rate it if you want. 1851, IVs are terrible. I will say I do not have a Douse Drive shiny Genesect, so it would be cool to get this, and I will use my remote raids on it. Not happening yet. Hey, but in the wild we do have this, the brand new Talbulb in Pokemon Go, and that is caught. Sick, there we go, going into the Pokedex, Bellibolt. Honestly, Talbulb, kind of a hard Pokemon to find, and it takes 50 candies to evolve over to Bellibolt. Now, Bellibolt in Pokemon Go is just kind of a normal electric type with a max CP of 3010, so definitely probably not a Pokemon you're going to use a lot when you're using against like raids and team leaders, but maybe something to use in PvP, potentially? Most likely not. Just kind of a fun, I guess, new addition to Pokemon Go. New Pokemon. Oh, and we also, oh my god, I just nailed my camera's mic. Okay. We also have this Mega in the Mega raids right now, Mega Houndoom, which I have really not done any raids for, but honestly, not a bad Mega to do raids for in general. Mega Houndoom is currently the number 3 best dark type in all of Pokemon Go, and with 17 people, it's not that hard to take down. So the Mega Energy is good to stack. Houndoom is a pretty easy Pokemon to get, so it's just a nice
really meta-relevant dark type if you ever need it. And from defeating it, since I actually was at an in-person raid, I got rare XL candy, I think. I skipped past it. Could get shiny. The rates are so bad. Got another Genesect raid, and actually while we take this, we've got a brand new community day that was announced for this month, the month of November, which is Mareep. Community Day Classic, that is. On November 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time, Mareep will be spawning more in the wild as a calm day. Got that 1 in 25 shiny odds. And the big bonus will be 1/4 hatch distance, 3-hour incense and lure modules, and then snapshot encounters. And then you can evolve over to an Ampharos with the featured move Dragon Pulse. Ampharos has a Mega, and the Mega is one of the top electric types, not really useful as a dragon, so the Community Day move kind of isn't really useful for the meta, at least for the out of PvP. In PvP might be a different story, but if you need more or want some shiny Mareep in Pokemon Go, November 25th, during the Community Day Classic event will be your best bet. Okay, let's try to get this Dowstripe shiny, please. Come on, Genesect, be good to me.
Now, one thing that does make this update very cool is the different spawns on Incense and in the wild. And speaking of spawns, I just did my Go Plus for kind of a lot of spawns. Did we get anything cool off that? Lechonk? No shinies. During this event, there's specific Pokemon like Alolan Geodude, Hisuian Voltorb, Volbeat and Illumise, Blitzel, Litleo, and Dedenne that you can only find on the Incense. They're not spawning in the wild, but it's like extra bonus Pokemon on the Incense, which is pretty cool. Also in the 7-kilometer eggs, there's special hatches. We've got Morlul, Dedenne, Magby, and Elekid. And a little secret from these eggs, Morlul hatched from them has a higher shiny rate than Morlul found in the wild. So if you really want the new shiny, the 7-kilometer eggs might be the way to go to get it. Although, you know, hatching eggs in Pokemon Go, the worst way to shiny hunt. Plus, during this event, we have 2-hour Incense, 2 times Hatch Stardust, and 2 times Hatch Candy. And if you head into the shop, this is hilarious. Oh wait, they're gone. Hold on. We actually have some pretty good free boxes. There's like 8 Incense. Oh, this is for, those boxes were from the, Mexico City Safari event that I didn't end up going to. Well, never mind, we've got some more field research for some more shiny Morlul. And then we've got a special timed research right here, which we actually completed everything except for hatched 4 eggs, which we might get done tonight as well. Let's see what we get from this. We get an Incense, an encounter with Hisuian Voltorb, a Hisuian Growlithe, Talbub. We'll take a Talbub, sure. It's another Morlul. And the last one we can get for now, because I still have to hatch an egg, is Magmar. And then one more cool feature about this event is the fact that the Pokemon that have like light coming off of them actually have light coming off of them in game, which honestly is super cool. It's a very fun little aesthetic feature. Honestly, I wish this kind of just would stay in Pokemon Go, although it does keep the Festival of Lights event special every year. And speaking of the Festival of Lights event every year, something about this year's Festival of Lights feels off. This could just be where I am sitting with Pokemon Go currently, but it feels like this year's event, it's just kind of boring. The raids are kind of meh. The hatches are nice, meh. The new shiny is cool, and shiny Shiinotic is definitely cool, but like, I don't know, it's kind of a meh Pokemon. Only 1 new shiny. The new Pokemon, and the spawns overall are just kind of meh. The whole event feels meh. And to figure out if this is just me or if this is a trend we're seeing in Pokemon Go, I wanted to look back on the 2022 Festival of Lights event. Here's what went down last year. For the first time ever, the whole like Pokemon being lit up in the wild thing happened, so we kind of got a new feature which was cool. Also, Morlul and Shiinotic were released for the first time, so it makes sense that this year we get the shiny. The event worked pretty much the same way, to where there were wild encounters and then there were Incense-specific encounters, except last year the Incense-specific encounters featured Pokemon like Galarian Ponyta and Galarian Darumaka, which honestly were and still are really rare shiny Pokemon, so it was a pretty good incentive to go out and use. Also, there was 2 times XP and candy for catching Pokemon, whereas this year it's all about the hatches, so last year definitely a more, I guess, accessible and better bonus. And last year we had an increased chance of catching shiny Chinchou. So last year's event had some pretty good incentives, and this year's event has some pretty fun incentives. And then when we look back at the 2021 Festival of Lights, the bonus is completely different. They were more about friendship, where friendship levels increased twice as fast, gifts gave increased rewards, and you can open up 45 gifts a day. There were fireworks happening in the sky on the map, which was cool. The new Pokemon Dedenne came out during that time. We had pretty much the same wild spawns in 2021 as we do in 2023, which is maybe why 2023 isn't as exciting, because it's just the same thing. And there were a lot more field research encounters back in 2021, which had a bunch of shiny opportunities. And the eggs back then were way better than they are now. The eggs in 2021 had Alolan Alolan Geodude, Chinchou, Pichu, Vulpix, Magby, Elekid, and Badoo. A lot more hatches, a lot more to find, and that was about it for that. So I don't know, is Pokemon Go events getting better or worse? Is the Festival of Lights just always kind of like a whatever event? And is this just me projecting how I feel about the game? Let me know in the comments what you think, and good luck on your hunts during the Festival of Lights. See you on the next video.